see gazetted on what's really expected from this particular debate.
Itashinda William. Kwani William lazima weke pay bill ndio pesa ifike? Si watu wa pay bill mnawajua? Si yake iko. Wacha watu.
I, Jomo Kenyatta.
Raila Amolo Odinga, in full realization of the high calling, assume the office of the people's president.
I, Uhuru Kenyatta.
In full realization.
In full realization.
Of the.
I, William Samoei Ruto.
In full realization.
In full realization.
Of the high calling.
Of the high calling.
I assume as president.
I assume as president of Kenya.
I, Rigathi Gachagua.
In full realization.
In full realization.
Of the high calling.
Of the high calling.
I assume as deputy president.
I assume as deputy president.
Of the Republic of Kenya.
Of the Republic of Kenya.
Good morning and welcome to Swechotv. This is the leading online TV station across the country, coming to you live every Monday to Friday from 9 is now the hot seat with none other than me, Dedan Jack Arevi Ouma. Kindly, if just in case at any time, at any point, you haven't subscribed or followed our channels across social media platform, kindly do so. Reach us through Swechotv at Swechotv Kenya in all social media platforms, but of course you can also send us an email at swechotvgmail.com. We will respond into it. I hope you just had a blessed a nice weekend. Of course, we've never met yesterday, we've never had got an opportunity to meet, but today we have here and we are going to discuss everything as far as the leadership is concerned. And of course, the entire team. We've seen a lot of things happening across the country. We've seen some movement, people leaving and joining different political parties. We've seen also different young leaders also coming out and telling us what they also have as young individuals. And of course, not forgetting that the president has also been, we've also seen him handling, or rather tackling some matters in different sectors on matters, perhaps health also, and on a daily basis we've seen also individuals coming out. Later we saw IEBC coming out and giving us some of the things that are expected as far as the leaders is concerned. And of course they'll also introduced something that is very new that would also favor general leaders. That of course that it is not going to be considered, it is not a must in the coming general election for you to have got a degree in order to participate in these different positions, as I witnessed before, where for you to become a governor, for you to become like a senator, there were some qualifications as far as learning certificates is concerned. And of course now things are becoming much easier, and that is also giving an opportunity to most of the leaders, or rather most of the individuals who never have got an opportunity to perhaps join universities to pursue any degree, and now they have got an opportunity. If suppose they would wish to serve as leaders, then now here things are sorted for them. Remember, it is exactly 349 days to the next general election. That's of course on 10th August, and of course we have got less than 2 months for our political parties to give, or rather nominate, the preferred presidential or other candidates in their own political parties. This is something that is now pushing the opposition now to come together and be united, just as something that they have been preaching out, they now have like less than two months, and now these people had to come out and rather make some of the communications and see like the decision that were supposed to be made. Because earlier we've seen people coming out, we've seen these political parties, or rather these opposition leaders coming out and telling us that they are the best. Each and everyone has been believing in him or herself, coming out and telling us that they are the best. When you look at the DCP through their Secretary General, who had been communicated and saying that the only song that they are allowed to sing is now Rigathi Gachagua for the president. And we look at other parties as well, they also believed. But now, yesterday, because when you look at their speeches from the first time these people have been having their campaigns to the last scenarios, there's one thing that they always say at the end of it, that they now have to be united at any point. And again, as they have to come together to be united, they also need to. There's only need also to have one preferred candidate to perhaps unseat Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the current president, in the next coming general election. Now, with the less number of days, we've seen some individuals coming out. The opposition team now decided to address, of course, the media, and now individuals also like DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua also come out and also spoke. Now, we are also waiting to see on, because they have less than 2 months, they now have to sit down and have an agreement, bring to us on board only one candidate. And we will see some of the things that if at all they will come into an agreement. And of course, if so, we will also see on what's really going to happen, or rather which criteria they also going to use to decide on who is the best candidate and why. All those will also keep them here and also keep you updated. Look into it. The country is like as we speak now, the country is generally just hot. We see we are now seeing development across the particular constituencies. We are also eyewitnessing like some of the leaders now coming out. Is it that the time that these individuals have been waiting for has reached, or rather what's really going to happen? Now, the governor of Kiambu County, that's Wamatangi, also communicated that he also ruled out on matters of course the UDA as far as the next general election is concerned. And now he addressed and said that as an individual, there are things that people perhaps would say about him, but what he knows is that he has stepped aside things to do with politics. But of course, he is encouraging the entire individual that let his effort not be taken for granted. The fact that he's not participating on any matters politics, then people need to give him time. But what is sure of, he knows the best decision that he's going to make as far as politics is concerned, or rather as far as parties is concerned. But for now, the key agenda that he's working on is now the development of Kiambu County and the needs of people of residents of Kiambu County. And now people shouldn't be comparing Kiambu with any other county, because with them, like, they don't have that much that some of the individuals do have. Let's just look at his speech and what he had to say.
Sina tamaa hiyo ya kukimbia huko ati nisemekane ati sasa nimetulia, nimepata chama nzuri, nimepiga siasa sana nagojea kuchaguliwa. Mimi nafanyanga ahadi, ninaweka ahadi. Ahadi ndio peke yake nitatumia kuwaomba kazi. Tuko pamoja jameni? Si watu wanafikiri ati Wamatangi vile ati nimenyamazia mambo ya siasa na huko mambo ya chama ati Wamatangi hajui mahali yanaenda. Mimi najua mahali tunaenda. Tuko pamoja jameni? Na mimi yangu ile kitu tu ninajua saa hizi, nilisema siasa kwa Wamatangi ni la. Siwezi kujifananisha na wengine ambao hawana shida niko nayo. Mimi niko na shida ya watu wengi ndani ya kaunti ya Kiambu. Sisi ni wengi sana kwa hii kaunti. Sisi hatuna mashamba kubwa ya kwenda kulima. Kwingine watu wanalima mashamba ya ngano, ya mahindi, eka 500, eka 100, mtu mmoja unapata hako na pesa. Nyinyi ni watu wa kufanyia hapa, pesa hapa kwa mdomo unarudi pale. Ama namna gani jameni? Sasa na mimi lazima nijipange kama watu wangu. Ndio nikasema kwanza waniwache nimalize hii kazi kidogo kidogo, barabara nimalize, imebaki Disemba ndio mimi naingia kwa siasa. Tuko pamoja jameni? Na nitakuja na rekodi ya kazi ile nimefanya. Mimi sitakuja na porojo. Sitaki mambo ya story mingi ati nimepanda kwa chama, nimepanda ati ndio nichaguliwe. Nitaingia kwa chama ni kweli, lakini kwanza nitakuja na kazi yangu. ama namna gani jameni? Na chama sio ati sijui ni wapi tunaenda, mimi najua ni wapi tunaenda. Mimi sio mjinga, ama namna gani jameni? Kuna ile tunajua hata tukipigwa na fimbo hatuwezi kurudi. Hiyo tunajua, ama namna gani? Kuna ile tunajua hata tukilimwa namna gani hatuwezi kuenda, ama namna gani? Lakini kuna ile tunajua sasa hapa pengine ni kupiga story yetu, tuseme hapo ndio mzuri tuenda huu. Lakini tukienda tunaenda kama tumetenda kazi. Tuko pamoja watu wa Thogoto, tomo wa Kikuyu, wa Matangi. Mimi sio mimi, hiyo ndio style yangu ya siasa. Mambo ya uongo, hata kama kazi yangu itakusha mwaka gani ama gani, nikienda nyumbani nitawacha record ambaye governor mwingine hata kuja kudanganya watu wa Kiambu. Ama namna gani jameni?
He has said something that people need to put into action at all point, where he has also said that he's looking forward to ensure that that Kiambu County becomes a better county in terms of development. And now, if there's anything that he's putting into action as we speak, is the construction of roads. He has talked of that. Kiambu has got a larger population, but of course, when you look at the lands, they don't have that land that they can account for generally as per individual or rather as a group. And therefore, in as much as he's not showing up in these political rallies, in as much as he has never came out to make a decision on what's going to be done, or rather what his own decision is, but again he has promised that he knows the direction to take, he knows what to do, and encourage the entire county to support him and stand with him. What he has done so far cannot be compared with what any other governor had done before, and is looking forward that by the time he will come out for campaign, right now is still in office, and what he's looking into is still working for the development, or rather the interest of members of the Kiambu County. And now, if at all he will have to come out for campaigns, of course he is still interested in the next general election. But again, he will only come out based on what he has done. The campaign will be based on what he has done, and rather not like what needs to be expected from him in the next general election. And therefore, what he has done so far, even if he doesn't even if he doesn't be given an opportunity to lead again, or rather to serve for his second term, but again the next governor will come out, will win, and rather come out to mention what he had done, and nobody will be able to compare what he has done with the current governor as well, like the elected governor. And now, talking of perhaps some of the things that he has mentioned, as a leader, or rather at any point, let's not be having an idea of working, or rather not working because of political parties that we do serve, or rather we were elected based on. At some point when we come out there, according to what we've been seeing, some members do come and say that he has never been given an opportunity to perhaps visit a state house, and therefore he can't bring development to the people. And now, when we look at what the governor has said, is that it is not always that you have to campaign all the time. There's a specific time for campaigns. And of course, when you look at the record that the IBC provided, they also indicated the exact time for campaigns. And now he has encouraged all the members that all the leaders generally, that as we speak, it is still the time for individuals who are in various offices to continue offering services, the best services to the people. And when you look at this particular speech, this is the same thing that was echoed by the president in his late speech. He has been encouraging that let us not be campaigning each and every time. Can we have time also to do some of the services, to do the things that we were given an opportunity to do, and rather not to offer or rather not having campaigns on a daily basis, day in and day out. We also need to create time for development, and that's something that is very great. Now, moving on, people have been we see there's the opposition party sides, where we have got the Jubilee, the DCP, the NAC, the entire opposition team. We've seen this particular people coming out, having got different rallies, and saying that they need to be united. If you look at it each and every time, what they say is about unity. And now, looking into it, with less than 2 months, they now decided to come out to the people and reach out and see on what are some of the things that they really expect. And now I just want to take you through the opposition unity covenant and just have got a brief of it on what they said yesterday evening, where they said, and I quote, "We have unanimously agreed to execute a personal unity pledge and a coalition unity agreement, through which each principal commits individually and collectively to remain united." Continuing, participate in a credible process of selecting our presidential candidate and thereafter fully support and campaign for the candidate chosen to carry out common mandate into the 2027 general election. And now, lastly, I would just like picking some of the part of it. Our answer today is an equivocal Kenya common, like, comes first at all. Now, when we take end of quote, and of course, when we take something like this, of course, you see that the team now has decided that now they have to be united, and at all cost, in individuals, like they now have to, like, come up with an idea. They now have to bring, like, agendas on board, and now just decide on who is going to be their own flag bearer. Before we come into that general discussion, the DCP party leader, we've seen him also severally in most of his rallies. He has been saying that he's the best candidate, he is the best candidate, and he needs to be given an opportunity. Now, it reached a level also where he said that he must also be given that opportunity, and because he have got the best tactics to unseat Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Remember, in the last general election, of course, they were together and they campaigned together, and he really participated in ensuring that the UDA party came into, like had got a higher number of voting across the country, and rather came into power. Now he is also now using an extra effort to ensure that the same party that he fought for to win is now working so hard to ensure that the same party now fall. And now he said that he has now officially now communicated that earlier on, he was the best candidate, and he's still the best candidate. But again, now, when you look at what he said earlier, is that he must be given that opportunity. But now, finally, he has come into an agreement that if suppose he has not been given an opportunity to serve as the flag bearer of the opposition, then he is willing to support any candidate that the opposition team will nominate. And he has urged that, in as much as if at any point is the reason as to why perhaps Dr. William Samoei Ruto will win the next general election, then is ready to give any other individual that support, the support that the team really need, and seat Dr. William Samoei Ruto. He has also urged that the decision that he has made, it is not just an individual decision, but it is a decision that has gone through the supporters, has come out with it, the entire team, the committee, the DCP party committee, and now everyone is into it. Let's just look at what he had to say and see if is it really possible now for opposition to have one candidate.
Told me that this government, which came to power on the claim that it was God-fearing, has allowed churches to become a target of violence. Goons, rogue police officers, and death squads launch attacks on places of worship with impunity. Kenyans saw this violence in churches in Mweki, Kariobangi, Atodo South, and most recently, ACK Cathedral in Nairobi and Kisumu. They have told me clearly that in the event that my colleagues persuade me otherwise, that I should not be the single presidential candidate. I should not in any way be the reason why the United Alternative Government should fail to have one single presidential candidate. In a nutshell, they have told me that in case I am not picked as the single presidential candidate, I and my supporters must back to a man, whoever is chosen to be the single presidential candidate. Kenyans from across the country confirmed that our nation's healthcare system is broken. Kenyans want drugs in hospitals. Kenyans told me that they need the next administration to sweep clean the healthcare sector in our country. Access to healthcare is more than just the SHA registration. We must align and implement 6 building blocks of having effective service delivery, a motivated health workforce, at county and national level, it may be clear once and for all about what drives me. I do what I do because I have a responsibility to do it. Where I come from, when your heart causes harm, even the harm you never intended, you cannot walk away. You do not make excuses. You apologize and then you do whatever is within your power to make it right. That is exactly what I'm doing. I played a big role in bringing this government into power. It is hurting Kenyans. I'm playing an even bigger role to send it home.
Yes, so according to what we saw earlier, now we always say that as far as politics is concerned, and because of the time that they also have the opposition team and the entire like political parties across the nation, now people have to come into agreement. People have to make decision. People have to make a step because the deadline is also much nearer, and the country has to move forward. The leaders also need time to campaign, and of course voters also need to be informed on who the best candidates as far as these political parties they do support is concerned. Now, could this also be like a way, or rather could this also be like a decision that we need also to expect from these political parties, the rest of political parties like leaders, because in Jubilee they have got their preferred candidate, that's Dr. Fred Matiang'i. In now DCP we've seen like the entire team is willing to support any other preferred candidate that the opposition team will come and support. When we see also these other parties, of course, looking into Linda Mwananchi, we have got several individuals, but of course also the team have not come out to make a decision, or rather to give a clear individual who is going to be at the flag bearer of that particular team. We are also looking into the procedure of course their registration, and we will see if everything also goes well, then they will also have come to an agreement of who is going to be the flag bearer. Of course, so far we've seen the senior council and of course the governor of Siaya County, James Agri Orengo, and we've seen also the senator of Nairobi County, that's Honorable Edwin Sifuna. Those are some of the individuals that the team is looking into forward, perhaps to be having as the presidential candidate. But of course, the individuals, we've seen a slogan whereby Mimi ndio Sifuna, and also Sisi ndio Sifuna. Through that, perhaps we will see a decision being made of, and none of them, when we look at Edwin Sifuna, has also not come out that is the preferred candidate, or rather the preferred presidential candidate in that particular race for that particular party. But we will see on a daily, we will see, because they also have to come into an agreement in less than 2 months, and have got a candidate, and then the entire position also have to come out with only one preferred candidate. It is something that is also like sending a bigger picture when we see someone like the DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua now accepting to have stepped down for any individual. You see, as compared to what we are used to, or rather what we were seeing before, where he believed that he was the best and nobody could take that particular team for him. Remember, the same week he also was said that it must, in as much as like if at all people will come into disagreement that the opposition team, then he will have no option but of course to face the president on his own. But now things have definitely changed. We always say that in the field of politics, things do happen a lot, especially when we are now less than a year to the next general election, and now we've seen these changes coming out on a daily basis, and now the worry is who is going to be the preferred candidate, who like is going to be like the best among the people that in these political parties have nominated, and see if opposition, because now it is clear so far that these people are going to sit on one table and bring only one candidate, because the pressure could be when the DCP believed in themselves that they would face the president in their own as of course as individual as just one party, but now they are now willing to join others and rather support also the next candidate that is going to be nominated. And now these are one of the things that are keeping on more changes and see who like, or rather which criteria these individuals are perhaps going to use. When we look at the broad-based government, of course, where we have got Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the challenge that the team is currently having, and of course they may also, like, any decision made also can also try to shake or also shape the political journey of this country, is now where the ODM team under Dr. Burudinga has been insisting, and also came out saying that they can negotiate on any other seat. They have time for that. But of course, as far as the seat of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is concerned, then it is a move that is going to be made by one team. It is just a move that they are going to do it on their own. They must be given that particular seat, and no any other individual should be given that particular seat. And there is something that I also said through their deputy party leader, that's also the governor of Kisii County, who came out and said that they have no problem even if the current deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, that's Professor Kithure Kindiki, decides to come out from the UDA and joins ODM, and also being given an opportunity to still serve as the deputy president. That one is, they have got no problem with that. The deputy president can decide and join and leave UDA to join them. But as far as that particular seat is concerned, anyone who will serve in that particular seat, as far as the next general election is concerned, must come from the ODM side. And these are just some of the things that is like raising more alarm. Remember, in that particular party, that's of course just in ODM, we also have 4 preferred candidates, and now we will see if at all they will also have to come into an agreement. That's of course we have got the party leader, Dr. Burudinga, who is also the Siaya senator. We also have the chairperson of ODM, that's Honorable Gladys Wanga, who is also the governor of Siaya County, the governor of Homa Bay County. We also have got the one of the best individuals that we've been seeing in this government, that's the CS John Aliasan Joho, who is also like eyeing for that particular race. And not ending that particular journey, we also have the CS, that's Wycliffe Oparanya. These are some of the key highlights. These are the key icons from the ODM side who are also eyeing for this particular race. And individuals are like, what is really going to happen? Are these people also are going to have an agreement, or rather the statement is like going to be on what is also being witnessed in the opposition side? Because at the end of it all, the ODM team must also just nominate one candidate. And of course, people also have to come into an agreement on what's really going to happen from for like the current deputy president, Professor Kithure Kindiki, on what actually are they going to also agree on what's next for him. Because we've also seen the CS for public service, that's Geoffrey Ruku, who has also been saying that as a team, as a UDA, as a family, they are not going to, perhaps they can give ODM any other seat, but not the DP. Where he also talked of the Speaker of the Senate, the Speaker of National Assembly, and many other seats, the Prime Secretary seat, and many other seats. But again, after that, also the ODM families also remained firm and said that as far as the DP seat is concerned, there are no negotiations on that, and they are looking into it as the best preferred individual. These are some of the tensions that we always eyewitness, especially during election periods. But of course, what is going to happen in this particular general election, everybody is like waiting to see and trying to perhaps figure out on what's really happening, because everyone is like, what's really going to happen, or rather what's really going on. Because when we look at it, earlier we saw people coming out. We saw the president accusing the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, of sponsoring like the team, some of the opposition team, like the leader Mwananchi. But again, also the president came out, the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, came out and respond to that, saying that he's not sponsoring any team. He's not sponsoring any individual, because perhaps he's also a party leader, and therefore he also have got is a preferred candidate in his party, whom they are also looking into. But again, when being called sponsored, then he came clear and saying that he's not sponsoring any team. And it is Kenyans who will decide on who is their best preferred candidate, because also with him, when he was vying for that, when he was in that particular competition, he talked to Kenyans. He walked from each point of the country, every point to talk to common Mwananchi, to ask them to vote for him. And for the first time, things he had got much challenges. And now, when time came, he was elected and he won that particular election. He served the country. He served the country. And now, if at all people believe that perhaps the support that perhaps in an individual may be offering, or rather sponsoring a certain political party, then that's an idea that people need to wrap in their own mind. Instead, it is Kenyans who will decide on who is their best, who needs to be given that particular opportunity to serve as the country. Where if at all the ordinary Kenyans, or rather Kenyans at large, comes out and decide that with us we are voting for so and so, that is it. That's what we'll have to count, and not the things that people do say on a daily basis. He has the Kenyans that generally politicians shouldn't be like coming out to mention out some individuals' names, that they are the one behind some of the steps that perhaps the individuals are making, or rather they are the one like sponsoring any individual. But again, let's now focus on why we are in these particular offices. Let's bring development to the people. Let's create job opportunity. Let's like give like health service to this particular individual at a lower cost that perhaps that doesn't really like favor very few individuals, but of course most of the part of the country. And now these are just some of the things that we also expect as a nation, as individuals, that when we get to these particular offices, when we do election, then as a common Mwananchi, let's just have a discussion with these particular people. In as much as they are in these offices, let's do a follow up where we make steps, or rather we make some movement. We just agree that in this particular day we are moving to this particular center, we are moving to this particular individuals. Let's like ask for this accountability, where we elected you for this particular moment. You've served for us for this for like a number of years, 2 or rather 1. So far, what have you managed to do, or rather, what's really happening? Why have you not done this, or rather, where is the challenge? So that as a nation, we also don't have to complain at any point, and see, or rather, we don't have to complain, and as well as build a stronger nation together, where nobody is excluded at any point, but instead, everyone moves forward always. Now, we have got a very few, or rather, let me say a very few days, because it is less than a year to the next general election. And now everyone also needs to be given an opportunity. Also, as we are witness to the IBC, we now have everyone, perhaps like you are ready for it to serve. You can now be ready for the campaigns when time reaches. Also, we will also be there also to remind you, to ensure that you get an opportunity to campaign, and rather convince your people, tell them your agendas, and be elected. On matters education, I would also wish to perhaps conclude with that, because remember, most of the students, we've seen them joining universities, and of course the president talked of something that was very key, and we are still giving time to see if suppose there will be any change made, and we will keep you updated, because it is less than a week to most of the schools also now reopening at large, and now the committee is still on board, or rather looking into what the proposal of the president, and weighing how is it going to be implemented. We are also waiting for that and see if suppose there will be any communication on that at any point. And these are just some of the things that perhaps individuals are waiting across the nation. And remember, as we campaign, as we do these things on a daily basis, remember, campaign is not the end. That's not the end of the journey. We still have a country to live in. We still have some things to protect at the end of the day, and we still also need each other. Do not be used as a youth, as an individual, as a group of people. Never allow any individual, be it a politician or just a leader, to come and use you to destroy individual's property, or rather end the life of an individual, because at the end of it all, we still need each other. At the end of it all, we still have a country to protect at all costs, and everyone needs to perhaps it is not like a collective responsibility. It begins with an individual responsibility. Then from there, we take it outside. We have got a country to protect as an individual. The journey begins with you. Let's protect our country. Let's protect our society. And of course, as we have got disagreements, let's find a better way to settle them. Because at the end of it all, what matters is now the decision that will be made, because the decision will have to run effectively for more than a decade. And therefore, just in case of anything, we must think of the country first, think of yourself as an individual. And from my side, I would like to thank you so much for keeping it live in Swechotv. I appreciate your efforts since the beginning of the journey. Coming to you live is the hot seat from Monday to Friday. I believe that everything is fine from your far end. And just in case you've forgotten, like you since the beginning of the journey, you haven't subscribed to this particular channel, please do so. Follow us, reach us out in all social media platforms at Swechotv Kenya. And of course, you can also email us at swechotv@gmail.com. I was your host, Dedan Jack Ariwi, and I thank you so much for keeping it here live in Swechotv. Never hesitate, because at the end of it all, it is Swecho all the time. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.